Alrighty guys, today we're going to have another sort of guide on the best combos for a fantastic pair of gloves, and they're going to be the Moto Gloves Smoke Out. Now, I have taken them at minimal wear for $475, and I've paired them with an M9 Bayonet Vanilla, which is $1,650, which is obviously quite chunky for what it is, but I think it looks absolutely mean and fantastic with the Moto Gloves. Now, I do want to detail that you could save some money by getting these gloves in low float field tests for about $315. That would free up $160 of budget. And just on the agent side of things, we are using FBI Sniper, who's about $29 at the time of planning, but works really well with the gloves. Slate also suggested this. That man knows his combos, so we're locking in on it. I do appreciate, however, that you maybe want cheaper options on the knife, so an M9 Black Laminate is going to be my first alternative, actually. It's just shy of $1,000, but that does mean we're cutting down by $650 overall. One thing you might wonder why I'm using M9s, because the Moto Gloves are so big and so chunky, I think you have to have big knives with it. So M9 Bayonet is the obvious one. I think the next category then would be like Bayonet and Huntsman. Kukri can also exist in there, but it's lacking some of the finishes that I would like. And then the final option would be the likes of a Bowie, but obviously that changes like the view model a little bit, or my final option now, which is the classic knife. Now, I like the Urban Mass because it sort of pairs with that smoky color of the knuckles, and if you get it in field tested, it gets that kind of funky, unique wear pattern on it. And also, it comes with an idle animation and some cool animations overall. So I think this is a pretty cool knife, but obviously that M9 Vanilla, absolute winner for me. And the weapon skins, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to kick it off with a USP stainless. This is $11 in minimal wear, and I need to sort of cover this straight away. With the smoke out gloves, the one thing you really want to do as like the most common approach is a monochromatic loadout, because it's black and white. You can get away with some silvers, some grays, like steel sort of color skins. That kind of thing works really well here. You can also do vibrant skins, and I'll cover those where relevant, but we are going to be going monochromatic because overall it just makes sense and it looks fantastic. It's why on the likes of the P250 we go for the Cartel. For just shy of $10, this gets a lovely bit of shine on it, and for me it just works wonders with the gloves. Like, this is a time where people think these maybe are boring because they're not bright and flashy, but it looks so sleek. And you do still get some like fan favorites in there, like the print stream for $45 in minimal wear. You can creep that in. Again, the colors on these gloves are basically like black, whitey, grayish, so any skin in that category as well on the weapon side, you're going to want to make use of it. And 2 videos in a row, I'm suggesting the Elite 1.6 for the Julies for 21 cents. Again, these are just cheap and cheerful, but they make a lot of sense with these gloves. Like, they just look good. And even on these more sort of monochromatic skins, you can get a little bit of shine, a little bit of light effect with the likes of the Silver Quartz. Factory new, this is just under $2. You do want it in factory new because otherwise it's going to start picking up some not so nice chips and scratches on it. And it's times like these that I love being able to take like one of the cheapest skins in the game and showcase that it works so well as a combo. This is the MP9 Featherweight. It's 8 cents. It's black with this grayish white, like absolute perfect pairing here for 8 cents. You can kind of tell that if it's not from a rare collection or very old, these less bright and flashy skins are normally like lower rarity to begin with, and then also just they're unboxed a ton, so they just keep low value. Like Armor Core, 20 cent min wear, it works so well with the gloves, like why would you go with anything else? Then the likes of the UMP, Urban DD-Pat, another 8 cent skin, works wonders with it because it is this grayish black color all throughout it. Is that nice pattern base, that smoky of the knuckles, like that just smoky grey works at the back of the gun. You could go motorized or late night transit here. You also have Urban DD-Pat on the Desert Eagle if you want something cheaper than the print stream. Loads of options exist for these gloves. And the most obvious ones are the likes of the Black Tie. This is an XM, it's basically $1 for minimal wear. It's black and white, like when you're going black and white loadout, which is basically these gloves, it makes sense. Now, as I say, some real winners that get a little bit of shine, like the Swag 7 on the mag, another one that's under $1 with actually like detailed artwork all over it. It's just the fact that it's black and silver rather than being bright pink, for example. And now we can somewhat get into that conversation where I am talking about brighter skins, but first I'm going to show the main go-tos, like the print stream again. This is minimal wear, it's $382. It's a lot of money to spend, and it is what I'm going to price for in this, but I do have 2 cheaper alternatives. The first one will save you basically $370 by going for the Basilisk. Now, if you want to lock in on full monochromatic vibes that still have good detailing, the Basilisk is a fantastic option. The suppressor gets good detailing. The Basilisk itself is like etched into the weapon skin. For under $10, I really like this skin. And when I went through a guide for smokeouts, people were actually suggesting using the Vaporwave, and I can kind of see why, because it just looks good. Now, this is obviously a very bright skin compared to the monochromatic stuff we've been showcasing, but this is it, minimal wear, $155. But there's maybe even an argument in this case to go battle scarred, save yourself money, and get it scuffed up, have it like looking like a beaten old piece of marble, like it's ancient, it's been through the wars, and then obviously that creates less bright color, more grays and blacks to pair with the gloves, but you still get some artwork through. Like, this is where you can be really creative with these gloves. Another great area is the Emperor A4, 71 cent. For magnesium, right? Like, this just does the job. You don't need to spend any more money because this works, and you can craft on it for pretty cheap, do whatever you like. I like having really good budget friendly skins that actually fit combos. And while I'm pricing for the magnesium, I do want to detail that bright skins like the full throttle can work great with the smoke outs. I think the fact that it's black and grey into this black and silver with that neon green top on it, these, like, I would go personally a sleeveless agent because I don't like the sleeves clashing here if I was to use it myself. But overall, if you want that brighter skin and you're down to spend $220, the full throttle is sick. And similar to that A1S conversation, we've got the same thing for the AWP. So like print stream here at $125 min wear, I think it just kind of makes sense. Obviously, this does mean we're going Deagle, we're going for the M4, and we're going for the AWP. You might ask, why didn't I use the USP? But I think the stainless for the price it is was just a bit too strong there to go against it. I know a lot of people like using things like graphites and black Niles with it, the graphite being the more expensive one at over $200 plus for factory new. But for me, as much as I like the detailing of the actual main body of the graphite, I think for $200 you really don't get much here. So I can't really suggest it. But then one that we're waiting for prices to settle on would be the likes of the Ice Cold AWP. Now, this is obviously a lot of black and sort of monochrome accents around it, but the main body is essentially a fade gradient from green into blue, but it gets you that color pop while still having core colors that sort of link into the gloves. And overall, I think you could definitely get away with using this if you wanted a pop of color compared to the print stream. Over in the Famous, I was considering a Dark War, then I realized the Grey Ghost for 40 cent fact new works really well here. Like that sort of grey color, and then you get a little bit of red pop on it for 40 cent, kind of banging value. And you guys are probably used to seeing the AUG Steel Sentinel at this point, but in this case, works wonders with the gloves, and it's 25 cent, and that ties off the CT side. So as we jump to the T side, let's see what we can do. So, agent-wise, we're going to be going for Sir Bloody Silent Darrow, almost $70 at this point, but gets silver accents, which with these gloves make a lot of sense, especially then when you've got the vanilla knife. Like, this just looks fantastic. On the Glock, I'm actually going to go for the green line. Now, I think this is where, like, going for the skins that aren't crazy color, but have a little bit of color and still have, like, that black or gray or silver in it, work wonders. This is $2.15, and for me, you guys can disagree if you want, I think this works really well with Smoke Out gloves. Then a kind of interesting one would be the Tech 9 Tiger Stencil. Now, I filled pattern 555 here, which is closer to silver, but I'm sure if you went hunting through patterns, you might be able to get something that's got a bit more silver. If you're not aware, the Tiger Stencil tag is pattern based, and it goes between like gold, silver, and I believe bronze as the third color, and minimum wear, it's 60 cent. So really cool, unique one to get a pattern that you like for not having to break the bank. This was market price. And I really like the smoke outs because you finally get to use MAC hands like the Whitefish. Now, I'm a big fan of skins like the Allure, the Savite Oni. That's what I personally use, but I do like the likes of the Whitefish. It's just, it's sometimes really hard to fit into a loadout without looking a bit odd. And here, it's so nice, and it's 37 cent. Now, I'm not sure how many people still care to use the Bison, but if you do want to use it for just under $2, you can get the Lumen, which, I mean, it's just basically black with some relaxing colors. But I do really like that it's a torch as the magazine. Like, just give me more fun design like this, please, guys. Now, I know what you're thinking on the Gale. Why haven't I used the Tuxedo? And honestly, I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Metallic squeeze for me here is $2.70 in factory new. It's kind of plus because you can get overpaid depending on the patterns. I've generated kind of like a random base pattern because you do have bronze, you do have gold, you do have silver. You could hunt and probably pay some overpay to get black and silver only. And if you care to do that, I think it will look really nice. Now, the AK is going to be our second last weapon to cover, and I have 3 options at completely different budgets for you. So the first one, which I actually think works really damn nicely with these gloves, is the Vulcan. It's $530 for minimal wear. Gonna get some scuffs through on it, as it does in this condition, but I think because it's got that black carbon fiber finish, in with like grayish blacks and whites, and then the blue element is there, but not directly on top of the gloves, This is a sleeper combo. Like, you could craft something fantastic on this and use something that you're not going to see often in game. If you don't want as much color, I think a Redline and Field Tester for $38 plus is a good area to look. Obviously, it is going to be black carbon fiber with red as the accent, but considering we've got black and sort of grayish gloves, you get a lot of freedom for that color pop to exist. And then the final one that I'm not going to showcase pricing for because it's only been on the market for a week, it's going to change. It's the Oligarch. This is factory new. If you want big color pop, I think you can go for this. There's a world where it's going to work and it's going to be your cup of tea. I do think I would overall probably go for the Vulcan though, at least at what the current prices these sell at, because they're insane. And then we end it off with the lovely Rapid Transit. Now this is part of the gallery case, which is actually going to get removed from the armory very soon. By the time it's up, it might have been removed. We'll see, fingers crossed, and kind of hoping the update comes a day from when I'm recording this, so we shall see. But $3.40 for this, and it's one of the best Scout skins in the game, with the fact that it plays sort of homage to the different maps as being train locations, and some of the 3D mapping, or mapping in general, I should say, on this is really clean. Now, what does that mean for the total loadout cost? It might surprise you that this comes out at $3,341, but we are going M9 vanilla, which is a sick knife, and we are using the likes of like an M4 print stream, the AWP print stream, and some more expensive skins like the Vulcan as well, which obviously, if you were to go for my cheaper M41S, my cheaper AK, all of a sudden you're saving almost like $800. You can also cut it down by changing the knife, of course. We had the black laminate. If you went for this, it goes down to $2,681, so you do cut a decent amount off. As I say, then if you did go for the alternative M4 and AK, you're immediately under $2,000. And then you got the price down even further by going for the likes of the classic Urban Mask, which is $1,852. Now, it is also worth noting, you could just go for cheaper vanillas as well. Like, there's a bunch of vanillas out there that are under $200, under $300, and they would work as well with these. Same for black laminate. I just like showcasing some of the ultimate or best options, and then at least you guys know what the best pick is, and you can scale it back accordingly if you need to. But there we go. That is a full loadout using the best combinations for the Smoke Out gloves as of the end of September, the start of October of 2025. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I don't know how many more episodes we're going to have of this like every gloves loadout series, because we've kind of gone through almost all of like the ones people care for at this point. So we might sort of shift to a new series very soon. But if you still think there's any gloves that I have missed, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I'll take a look at them. I have done 38 of these now at this point, so I think we've covered almost every key one in the game. But that's my waffling over. Before I head, I want to say a big thank you to the YouTube members for continuing to support the channel. You guys are absolute real ones. It is greatly appreciated. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. We're making that big push for 10K before the end of the year, and would love to have you on the content journey with me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.